Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. Man, that is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to the Smash Factor, the final week of the 2020-2021 PGA season. We made it. It's been a long haul and a grind all year. Fantastic tournament that ended yesterday. Finished obviously positive for us. We had a Cantley ticket. Was very, boy, I don't want to say stressful. I mean, because it is what it is at that point. But, man, when you actually have someone in that type of playoff and it's, I mean, you think it's over 3 or 4 different times and you think Bryson's out of it, puts it in the water, throws up a hell of a shot to put it within 3 feet or so, to save par, go to another playoff hole. Even when Cantley made that birdie, you know, Bryson was in there tight. Obviously his putting wasn't as sharp there late as what Cantley's was. So, but I thought he was going to make it and they're going to go to another one. Fantastic finish. I know the DFS industry world was on Bryson to win it for the most part. So that was a big letdown on that end, but luckily we had Cantley and got the win. But I faded Bryson DFS too. So it kind of came at a, you know, I probably should have bet him, being that I was going to be super light on him. But then again, you know, wouldn't have won either one of them. Lost about half the bankroll for the week. It wasn't horrible. Just, man, I would not have Bryson in much at all. I didn't have him in any core, any 20. The only thing I had him in is I think I put 100 lineups or 150, I think, in the $5. And I put him in those. Some, but still light compared to the field. So, I mean, I had obviously some of my core last week was Cantley, Burns, Rory. We started out on fire with the Burns, Rory having the first round leader split. So we got 2 winners there, chopped down by a third each, but still good profit. I think it basically came out when you added them together close to like 28 to 30 to 1 is what it would have basically kind of hit. Burns was 52 to 1. We got a third of that. And Rory, I believe, was 28 to 1. We got a third of that. Then we had the Cantley outright ticket. So great week all the way around. Matchups did very well also. I'll get all that finalized, updated tonight, and give you the full results tomorrow on Cup with Gup. Man, the community is doing well. We took down, talked about college football. I've hyped it up as much as I can and didn't disappoint Saturday. Decent start on the main slate. No big winners, but some money made. I finished 14th in the 222. I just had a bullet in there. Then we had the night slate. Bobby did a great job breaking that down. And one of our subs put a bullet in the $10. I think it was $10, $10 or $12, and he took it down for $5K. No better college football community than ours out there. It alone, it's just prints money. Between that and NASCAR, we have such an edge there. Great UFC in general. You know, PGA has been a grind this year. It's been a grind for everybody. Hopefully we continue to finish strong. We had a solid week this week, obviously, minus the Bryson deal. We still had some guys do very well in DFS overall. So looking forward to more announcements coming. You know, the Green Machine finally got, I was almost going to do the video yesterday. We had a few little wrinkles to clean up. So I think I'll be doing the tutorial video and that'll be posted out to the public. So anybody can take a look at that. I think now's a great time to join us. Use the code NFL, get 25% off any package. Full site package gives you obviously access to our NFL tools, golf tools, and the Green Machine lineup builder. 7-day free risk-free trials included in that. So if you don't like it, no harm, no foul. You can walk away. You never get charged. Rate and review us on iTunes goes a long way. I'll be doing giveaways in the next 2 weeks as we march towards week 1 NFL. And I will look at that for one way to win giveaways. And the other way will be subscribe to us on YouTube. Like this video for me and tell me who you want to fade in the 10,000 and above area this week, which is made up of 8 guys with the way the pricing is on the staggered start, which we'll get into all that shortly. Listener League, obviously no Listener League this week. We have the League of Champions. So all the winners got an invite this morning to get in there. I'll be doing prizes for the top 3. I'll announce those prizes tomorrow. Just have a little fun. Been a fun year. If you guys all won, congrats on that. And then we'll do, some give. We'll have top 3 prizes. I'll figure those out tonight, finalize them, and have those for tomorrow. Last week's winner was already a winner, Ahmed 345. He had DeChambeau, Cantley, Scheffler, Connors, Sungjae, and KH Lee. Hell of a lineup. Did well. Hopefully he had that in some other things. I will have NFL Week 1 Listener League up probably today or tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and start filling that up as we push towards next Sunday's kickoff for the main slate. We're at East Lake Golf Course. Very familiar with this place. They've had it here for a while now. Par 70, 7,400 yards, 4 par 3s, 2 par 5s. Tough course. We won't see any minus 27 under win it this week. I know that was kind of a talk of the Twitter worlds for the most part. I was kind of in between. Because there are a lot of guys that didn't do well or didn't score well. And if you look at the leaderboard, plenty were up there, but there was still a good chunk of guys that were still, shooting 3 or 4 under total, or, less than 3 under a day or so. So 12 to 15 under. But the guys that just were on fire were up there, and they got in the 20s. No one finished over par, which I think they said yesterday on the telecast was the first time since like 2011. So it's definitely easy. Soft conditions, ball in hand the first few days. That didn't help their cause anyways. Be interesting to see if they go back there. But, obviously I like challenges and tests. I think this week's a really good, fair test. We'll see guys raw score. The best will be, somewhere in 12, 15 under range. So it won't be as, difficult or as easy by any means. And this course can play hard. We'll see how the weather coming in tomorrow and Wednesday affects it, but should expect a pretty tough challenge. Long par 3s like last week. So we're going to be looking at that 200, 225 range on, iron play proximity. Bermuda grass though this week instead of bent. Final 4 holes are very tough finishing holes. Tournament will be won as they come down the stretch. Pretty thick rough, but it's not too tall. It's better to be in the fairways, but you're not absolutely dead if you're just off of them. Greens will probably be super quick. They're known for that. They're fast greens, different complexes on them, some small, some large. So got to be able to putt well for sure. These can get away from you. What's left of the hurricane should be moving through Tuesday and Wednesday in Atlanta. But the actual tournament looks great. So Thursday through Sunday, I don't see any issues at all. Could be soft. Depends on how much rain actually dumps on them tomorrow and a little bit Wednesday. So we'll keep an eye on that. No cut, obviously, only 30 guys. Winning number, I think the raw strokes I have around minus 13, which would put the total, I got it around minus 20 or so. This format started in 2019. Rory won minus 18. He shot 5 under on the week. Or he started with a 5 under. His starting strokes was 5, so he shot 13 under for a total of 18. DJ last year shot 11 under raw plus his 10 strokes he started with, gives him a 21 under total win. So you can kind of see how that is. Lowest gross was Schauffele last year, and then Rory also, he shot lowest gross and lowest net. That's how he made it. I think JT, I want to say JT started that week as the leader, and Rory was able to catch him shooting the lowest gross and lowest net. So when you're looking at history, really the way this format is 2019, 2020, I posted on the premium site today a review of the last 2 years as it relates to DraftKings. Pretty helpful if you take a look at it. In 2019, we saw guys like, Patrick Cantley was second place going in. He shoots 9 over on the week. So, it's not all about the starting place. We'll talk about that more. A lot of that's going to be evolved around the premium stuff this week. That'll be our main focus. guys that have, won here at this course, even the old format: Tiger, Schauffele, Rory, Spieth, Billy Horschel, some runner-ups: Billy Horschel, JT, Danny Lee. He's not here this week. Rory, Spieth, those kind of guys. Only, I think it's three guys have not played here yet. So this will be their first time out. Salary ranges. We have 8 in the 10K. You'll notice the different pricing because of the way the starting is. 2, which goes all the way up to 13.4 with Cantley this week, which is kind of different because the last 2 years, 2019, JT was 15.5. And then the next best was 12.4, so $3,100 difference. 2020, DJ was 15.2, and second place was Rahm. He was 12.7, so $2,500 difference. Now we're a lot tighter. Cantley's 13.4, and Rahm is 13. So DK obviously made some adjustments there. We got 8 in that range, 2 in the 9K range, 5 in the 8K range, 3 in the 7K range, 5 in the 6K range, and 6 in the 5K range as they add 5,000 range this week. Stats I'm looking at: good drives, stroke gain irons, which blends the approach and around the green. I think, approach needs to be on, but if you're missing, you got to be able to get up and down and say pars here and move on. Birdie or better. Anytime you have a no-cut event, 4 rounds, I want to look at that. But I do want to look at bogey avoidance as well. I think that factors in a little bit. Proximity, 200 to 225. And then just pure strokes gain, tee to green. I mean, we got the 30 guys that have played the best on the season. So, I'll factor that in when we have something like that rolling into this week. The biggest deal, I'm going to do an Elite 8 this week. Obviously, there's only 30 guys. I can't, name off a whole bunch. So I'm going to give you 8 guys that I'm looking at. I'll still talk about fade potential. I got a little sleeper action just based on price more than anything. 2 gut filled plays. We'll talk about the betting with strokes and without strokes. We'll call it a day. It won't be a long pod. I will say that, I built a tool 2 years ago, or 2019. It helps tremendously. It'd be a great week to come try us out. Try it for free. If you want to leave. I mean, that's your choice. I think you'll stay. I think you'll enjoy the Slack, the GC Warrior Room, and everything else we got with all the other sports going. But the tool's, very helpful. So I built it where you can mess around with it's got the starting strokes built in, and then it goes into, what those points mean. Current assumed position, DK points. So I took the last 2 years and looked at what the raw scoring of people that finished in each position averaged. That's built into it, so you get a total current points. And then you just basically have a column where you can mess around with, okay, what if this guy finishes this place? You can put all 29 guys, doesn't look like Patrick Reed's going to play this week, into their position, or mess around and go, what's that mean when it comes to changing their finishing points, the projected raw score, and then, all in, all out, how's that look on my dollar spent per point I'm getting? And it just walks you through it. It's super simple, super easy. People loved it the last 2 years. I'll be posting that this afternoon as well. Great time to come check it out just for that alone. So 9K and above, in that range we have, so I'll run through it real quick. Cantley starts with, so in DraftKings, they're going to start with whatever they're at. So Cantley, I'm going to go through the starting strokes. Cantley's -10, Bryson 8 under, Tony 7 under, Rahm 6 under, Cam Smith 5 under, Burns, Thomas, Spieth, English, Answer are all 4 under. Morikawa, Hovland, Usti, DJ, and M are all 3 under. Rory, Xander, Kokrak, Brooks, Nah, all 2 under. Scheffler, Matsu, Connors, Neiman, Sink, all 1 under. Garcia, Berger, EVR, and Billy Ho, all 0 even to start the tournament. When the tournament starts, it'll kind of be like round 4 showdown if you play that, where Cantley's going to start with 30 points before he ever hits the ball. But that'll change if he moves down. If he didn't play well here, 2 years ago in 2019, if he winds up in 16th place, he only gets 5 points for that position. So the raw scoring is still going to matter. especially over a 4-day tournament, you're not talking about a lot. And as those positions move a lot, that definitely matters. So, and that's what this tool I built does, is it allows you to kind of see that and not have to kind of think about all the scenarios. You can just kind of plug it in and go, what if Rahm wins, this guy finishes second or thereabouts, so on and so forth. It just plugs it out for you. So that's a big change with DK. Betting world, you have to keep an eye on. Your book most likely will have, the ones I've looked at already, they'll have a winner with the starting strokes odds, and then they'll have one raw scoring odds. So who shoots the low gross for the week is what you'll see. And those are two different odds. So pay attention to that as you get into your betting stuff this week. 9K above, I'm going to kick it off with JT. I like him a lot this week. Probably be popular, but I mean, there's only 30 guys, so everybody's going to have ownership. This is much more about strategy, leverage, the way you build your lineups, whether it's leaving some money on the table or unique stacking, which you can do in the green machine, stuff like that. It's really going to matter. I mean, I'll factor in ownership some, but ultimately I'm going to go with, the guys I think that are going to do the best. And my content will be around some of that. JT's last 5 years here, a 6th, a 2nd, a 7th, a 3rd, and a 2nd. So really well. He's starting 4 under, so he's 6 back. The year Rory won it, he was 5 under, 5 back. That price, he doesn't have to necessarily get up there and win it. Plays great here. What he finished last week. I got 3 or 4 different screens open with that deal. 22nd last week, but a 4th at the Northern Trust, 26th at the WGC. 7th in the stat model for me. Bermuda putting, he's lower in the field, but again, there's only 30 guys, so it's not like we're kind of splitting hairs on some of that. Just overall, I know he'll probably be one of the guys that kind of get popular, especially with this price, but I'm going to go to JT this week. I like him. Rahm, my instinct will be one of the most popular, deservingly so. Last week, he kind of surprised me getting up to close to 30%. Now you only got 30 guys. Not quite the JT history, but not horrible. A 4th, a 12th, an 11th, and a 7th. A 9th last week, a 3rd at Northern Trust. He was the 3rd piece of that first round leader on Thursday. Just couldn't, be there at the end. Still finished top 10 last week, so nothing to. But all that's going to bring, if you're talking about ownership this week, especially because Cantley's only $400 more. Then the next one, I think, is Bryson, drops down to 12.3. I think most are going to try to fit Rahm in and take their chances elsewhere, try to be unique in building. So, but I like him. I'm not going to go off of him. If you play him, you just have to be aware. We'll see where we're at in 48 hours, but make sure you're at least get as close to leverage on the field as possible. And that's 9K and above. So I kind of merged those together just because we have different brackets this week. 8K and above, I like Burns. He's one of my favorite plays again. He was one of my favorite plays last week. I'm going to go right back to him. Now we're on Bermuda, which he loves. He's 5th in the field and putting there. He's been playing great. An 8th last week, a 21st at Northern Trust, 2nd at WGC. You're talking about a guy that's coming in great form. He's right there with JT at -4. So I wouldn't mind you getting $2,500 savings. And I think Burns can do well. That had never played here, so that that's a little probably the only difference between like a him and a JT. But you're saving a lot of money going Burns route. Don't mind playing both of them together. It's just that's a observation when you're looking at the starting position. Hovland is my next one at 8K flat. There's a lot of good guys there. I think Morikawa will be an interesting talking piece. I'll see how, because he just didn't look good. He finished dead last or close to it, 63rd last week. He was last through 3 rounds. He missed the cut the week before. We know about potential injury, change in swing, all that. He finished 6th, though, here last year, so really if they do some pressers and stuff, he's one I want to hear from because I think he's a good potential play. But and Schauffele will be I would be shocked if he's not the highest owned. I know Rahm will be up there, but Xander's last 4 years here, 2nd, 7th, 1st. So he loves this place. He plays it well. But the two, I'm going with Burns. I'm going with Hovland. Not to say I won't go to those other guys. I like Hovland here. Starting -3, 8K, great price. He finished okay last year, nothing great, 20th. 5th in stats for me. first in good drives, third in proximity, 200 to 225, 15th birdie or better. Started slow last week, but then really came on, finished decent, had a good Sunday. No shocker there. I like him a lot. Is a little bit different than just saying, Xander's, if you like him, can't talk you off that. I mean, the only thing about him, this will be interesting, is he's not coming in with like the greatest form. 46th at the WGC, 49th at the BMW, 16th at the Northern Trust. But he's so, the pricing at 8,900 makes it, worth paying for him. And he just loves this place. I mean, you saw his history, a first, a second, a seventh. So, I think he can get around here really well. 6 and 7K, I'm going to combine those two. First play is Scheffler. Definitely like him this week. One of my favorite plays at $6,800. Fifth here last year and the first time he saw the course. 22nd last week, 43rd at Northern Trust, 14th at WGC. 13th in the stat model. He's second, 200 to 225. 6th in birdie or better, which I like in this kind of field when we're going to get 4 days of scoring. 14th in good drives. Bogey avoidance is 24th, which is typical with him. He does tend to, put more bogeys out than most. 12 tee to green, but at that price, 6,800, opens up a lot there, and definitely like that. Gonna go back to Kokrak. Didn't look good starting out last week, but finished strong over the weekend. A 15th place, coming off those back-to-back missed cuts. A 14th here in 2019, the only time he made it so far. He's 8th in stats, 5th in course fit. In middle of the road on Bermuda putting. Seems to do better on bent, but not horrible on Bermuda. 6,600. Again, I like Kokrak on a course that I think length's going to matter some, especially if it's soft. He's second in good drive, 7th in birdie or better, 9th in proximity, 200, 225, 14th in bogey avoidance. So I like all that at that price for Kokrak this week, starting out at -2 scoring. Scheffler's -1 if I didn't say that. 5K range, Garcia, looks good. Finished strong last week to get inside of the top 30. You got to hit a 6th place to do it. Only played here once, 2017. Got a 10th, well, at least since 2016. Stats-wise, he's 6th for me. Obviously, he's going to be towards the bottom in putting in anything we look at. Form's been, up and down. He missed the cut, then a 9th or 6th, 26th at WGC. We just need a good putting week. We saw it last week. Ball striking, he's going to be there with anybody. I like that he finished 10th in 2017. So he's seen the course, knows it, did all right. That price, 5,400. If he can score well, he could pay that off. And then my other 5K guy would be Berger. Played here 3 times since 2016 and finished 15th, 15th, 15th. So right in the middle of the pack. Okay last week. Similar, started a little slow, but got up, finished 26th overall, 56th at Northern Trust, and a 5th at WGC. So decent form coming in. Has played here decently. 7th in stroke gain iron, so I like that. 4th in bogey avoidance, 8th in tee to green in general. 18th in birdie or better, I'm not too keen on, but at 5,800, if you're trying to fit pieces in there or stack up top, that's certainly a guy that could come out here and shoot a raw 9 or 10 under and certainly pay off his value, no doubt. Fade of the week, that's a little different this week. There's 30 guys, right? So if you're building 150 lineups, I don't know that I don't know if I'd eliminate anybody or not. But Bryson, again, I'll go back to the well here. I'd be interested to kind of hear, I don't even know in the industry who all is covering this week. I know a lot of people kind of chunk it because it's a weird format, weird scoring, all that kind of stuff. But be interesting to kind of hear what the thoughts are. He's starting 8 under, second place, 12-3, so pretty decent savings from Cantley and Rahm, but he has not played particularly well here. A 19th, a 12th, and then a 22nd. The 22nd was after kind of the reborn of his new game. He actually did better when he wasn't what he is today. But stats-wise, he's 16th. But he is a number 1 putter on Bermuda here in my model that I ran. Can certainly score. We've seen that. I can't deny playing him. And like 2 weeks ago, he was kind of under the radar. I don't remember what he came in that week. Very low, and I did play him. everybody saw the playoff. Everybody saw him. He's playing well. This course doesn't exactly open up like that for him. It is a tighter fairways to hit. Rough can penalize you hitting out of that Bermuda, thicker Bermuda. And his around the green game just struggles at times. So he's 25th in the field in stroke gain irons. And at that price, certainly a good fade point, especially starting out -8. And if people aren't fully understanding how all this works, he could be a good leverage spot this week. So if there's anybody I'm going to be light on or a fade right now, it'd be Bryson. My quote unquote sleeper of the week, so just a guy I like who's super cheap, is Matsu, $6,400. He's starting -1, so going to be an uphill battle for him to contend. But he's played well here at times for the most part. A 5th, a 26th, then a 4th, 9th, and 15th. So one bad year in 2017, then all the rest has done well. If we get a top 15, top 10 gross score for him this week, would definitely do well at that price. And I don't know how popular he'll be in general. Ball striking and all that, he's going to be great. Always comes down to putting for him. 6th in irons, 8th in birdie or better, 4th in tee to green. So all those things I like, especially at that price. And I don't know how talked up he will be, especially with some of the guys around him. Gut feel play. So just a way, I'm going to give you 2 this week. Way to get some more guys listed on the pod. Rory, I like him this week. He's done well here. A 1st, a 7th, a 1st, an 8th. So top 8 or better. 9,300 is really cheap. I know he's only -2, so 8 shots back to try to climb into it. But, he looked really, really good last week. Likes this course, so we got good form coming in. He finished 4th last week. I'll play some Rory at $9,300. And that guy I hardly ever play, and I'm going to go to him, is Harris English. 8,700, starting out at -4. 26th last week, 31st at Northern Trust, a 4th at WGC. So we saw peaks and valleys of him this year, and I think he may be peaking. A 12th here last year, so I like that a lot. Man, he's just been his driving. If he gets his driving okay, he's been hitting the ball so well everywhere else. His birdie or better rate is he's 5th in the field, 4th on Bermuda putting, so we know he can putt. 8,700, he's kind of right there in the middle of the pricing that. You can make something happen. I like Burns a little better, but I got plenty of room to get all these guys in. So he was a guy that kind of caught my eye, and I like English at 8,700. So our betting segment, top 5 that pop in 2 long shots is what it normally is, but I'm doing it a little bit different this week. Brought to you by Monkey Knife Fight. We have a new offer. You get a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. Use the code GUPS, GUPS. Or go to gupscorner.com/affiliates, click the link there, and that'll take you straight to Monkey Knife Fight. We'll be doing, on my pod last week, I talked about their season props that they got going on for NFL. So it's basically like futures, but in the prop world. So they'll have, over-under passing yards for Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes, and you pick over-under the yardage there on both of them. I gave a few away on the pod last Friday, I believe. But I will be doing weekly NFL stuff for that. On the podcast, giving away ones that catch my eye. You can go ahead and lock in those season long now. Again, that's gupscorner.com/affiliates. Use the code GUPS, 100% match up to $100. So I'm going to give you 3 that kind of stand out to me with strokes and 3 raw. And make sure you take a look at both. Like Burns, on one book, I saw him the exact same odds with strokes and raw. And I'm like, all right, well, if I'm going to bet it, I would bet raw because he doesn't have to make up 6 strokes. Raw means who shoots the lowest number out of these 29 guys over the 72 holes. Obviously, with strokes, it's going to take into their starting standpoint, so the odds are going to be different for the most part. But for some reason, Burns wasn't. But that, when you're looking at guys like that, make sure you see the difference and go, okay, do I think, can he make this? Is the value there when you're starting behind, per se? I don't know exactly. I'm going to build the card yet. I think there could be some value, but a lot of the guys up top, are super low when you're looking at the whist strokes. Rahm's 4-1, Cantley's 4-1, Bryson 5-1, Finau 6.5 to 1. Then it kind of drops down for there. 3 that kind of interest me is I'm probably gonna be more on the raw score betting, but I like Hovland 40-1. He's starting 7 back. That may be a little bit of a reach. I like JT. If I was probably going to bet anybody on the with the strokes deal, JT at 20-1, has a chance, I think, to make some noise. He's still got to make up 6 strokes. English is another one I like. He's right there at -4 with JT. So he's 33 to 1. I like that number. Raw, I like Scheffler 20 to 1. I like Hovland 20 to 1. So that's like one of those things you go, okay, is it worth the 40 to 1 bet for him to make up 7 strokes with Hovland, or would I rather just take the 20 to 1 and hope he shoots the best raw score this week? Those are kind of things we'll walk through as we go through the next 48 hours. But I do like him. And then, Burns, I love at 33 to 1 raw, especially if, at least the ones I've looked at, he's even same number as with strokes. So definitely lean heavy into that one. I'll have my first go around at bets probably tonight or in the morning. If you're still alive and one and done, good luck this week. I know some of them ended last week. Some may still be going on. Obviously, just probably play the best player you have left at this point. If you do have questions, a lot of you guys sent me messages in the Warrior Room and Twitter. I'll answer them if you have a this guy or this guy type of deal. Don't mind doing that at all. And just announced before we wrap up the pod, we are now partners with Underdog, which is, one of the most well-known best ball sites going right now. An app. The app is awesome. You can go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app in Google Store or Apple Store. Get the app, make your first deposit of $10, and you get a free $25. No strings attached. Use the code GUP, G-U-P. Deposit $10, you get $25. If you're in the GC Warrior Room, we got guys virtually in there all day drafting different best balls, talking strategy, talking, stacking, all that kind of stuff. A lot of guys have done, 50, 100 drafts already. They got $1 million first prize. In one of the pools, they have 3 puppy pools. They have, if you're like, you don't want to, some of those are 150 max, but they got other ones if you want to look at, I don't know if they have single entry yet or not, but 3 max, stuff like that. You go check all that out, underdogfantasy.com, or download the app. The app's super easy to navigate through, super easy to draft on. They have fast drafts and slow drafts. So if you're not one that can be by your phone all the time, you can get into the slow drafts. We still got, almost 2 weeks left, a week and a half till to get all these best balls in. If you're not familiar with best balls, basically you draft your entire team and you're done. So there's no waivers, no lineup restrictions. And what they do is that's why it's called best ball, is they take your best scoring from each position every week, and that's your score for that week. And it goes on and on throughout the season. Then you get into playoffs and you have a chance at the big money. Again, to underdogfantasy.com or download the app. Use the code GUP. Free $25 with just a $10 deposit. Go ahead and take advantage of that now. And if you're in the GC Warrior Room, if you're not familiar with it at all, go check out that Warrior Room and get so much information there. Or hit me up. Ryan does a lot of them as well. Our NFL, Ryan, you guys know him from NASCAR, but he also handles a lot of our NFL stuff with me. So you can reach out to him. He's done a ton so far. He got a lot of great advice on that as well. Probably do an E9 this week. We'll see how things are going. I know it's only 30 guys. How much can you talk through? We'll probably be more about the strategy part, maybe using the tool. If you have questions with the tool, I can, answer those there. Looking forward to, we got the golf this week. Then we get a break. No PGA at all next week, which is good for me. Kind of get focused on NFL. Pricing's already out for week 1, so I'll get a lot of stuff rolling on that. My annual event that I'm a member guest that I'm a guest in Tulsa each year is next week. Won't really change anything content wise, maybe a few small things, but because we get the pricing's already out so early, get a lot of that knocked out. And then I'll be back here, in plenty of time. I'll be back Saturday afternoon. So Sunday we'll be able to do the live show and talk through any last minute injury stuff and all that, but I'll have all the content out throughout the week like normal. No golf, so we get a little break there. Plenty of college football. We got slates. I think maybe we got a showdown slate Wednesday, Thursday. I think 8-game Thursday slate. It'll be awesome. Full go week 1. Full Saturday is this Saturday all around. Looks like the Tulane game that OU is going to play at will now be in Norman. So I will probably be there as I'm a season ticket holder, and I assume we will get offered tickets, but I'll let you know on that. Other than that, this is going to be a fun week. This is a good week, strategy week. Anytime we have some of these little quirky things, I believe the time and effort we put in, the tools we have, gives us an advantage over most. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to, much more real football this week and next week as we roll into college football and NFL. I will have the tutorials out on the Green Machine either later today or in the morning at the latest. And then we'll do the NFL ones and golf. I'm going to re-up on the golf ones as well. You guys have a blessed day, and we'll see you soon. See you tomorrow. Thanks.